Hello. How's everybody doing? I hope you guys will be more interactive with me today. More interactive with me, period. Because it definitely motivates you because you don't feel like you're just, when you're recording, like it's you and your camera. I feels like, well, at least I got somebody there with me. I think they did an update on this. Let me see if I can scoot this. But I'm thinking about wearing this hair. I mean, this is not why we stopped by, I'm sure. But anyway, I'm thinking about wearing this hair for my birthday. But I have another ponytail that's ginormous like this. And it is more of one of those. It made me feel like a lion when I wear this style of a ponytail because it's real, real long. Let's see. Like extra special long. Now I'm sitting here and I don't really feel good. I just took ill Tuesday. It was real cold, and I remember I walked outside, but my hair was wet because I had washed my hair that day. And I walked outside, and my hair was wet. And I thought, why would you come out here with your hair wet? You know what I mean? But anyway, that's what I decided that it was a good idea. Let me see if I can scoop this around, like, so we could be closer. But let's see here. Hold on. Hold on, baby. Yeah, so anyway, let me show you guys how it's just extremely long. And this is a synthetic um, ponytail. But to me, it was pricey, especially for Amazon. It was like $36 or something like that. So I thought it was pricey for it to be synthetic and stuff. Well, let's go ahead and jump right in. Um, a lot of things cross my mind. I'm the type of person who is a thinker. I'm always thinking, really, at when I was younger, it used to be that I was the type of person who was thinking of what I was gonna be or do when I was an adult, or I don't know, just kind of like goal oriented and real creative. I've always been a real creative person. I could do a lot of things, and it seemed like, I don't know. I don't like to really necessarily say all these things that I could do, but I will tell you guys some of the things that I can do. I can cook, I can write, um, I'm talking about like really, really good. I could cook good. I could write. I could decorate really good. I could clean really good. Um, I could dress, honey. At least I think I could dress. I could dress really good. And did I say I like to decorate? But I'm a talented person. I think my talents are based on my creativity, right? So, with that being said, just to give you guys a little bit of background, that's the reason why my channel is called Chameleon Girl. It is called Chameleon Girl because chameleons, they um they don't stay the same. They're not the same colors or anything. They could camouflage, they could be colorful, they could be this. all out of one chameleon. So that's why I called my channel uh, the Chameleon Girl. And people be like, the camshaft lady, because they can't pronounce it, but that's all it is the little reptile that navigates its way through life, is who I am. Something else that I was able to do very good, though, is argue and argue and argue and argue. Because that was my thing. I was horrible at communicating with anyone. It feels like my poor communication even started when I was really young, and poor communication can definitely stem from being like a bossy individual because you kind of only see it your way. And by you only seeing it your way, then at the end of the day, you don't hear what nobody else is saying. So that's why I also kind of loop that into it, into poor communication. When you have poor communication within yourself, you're usually a bossy person that only sees it your way. But there was something that happened to me recently, and what shocked me is it was someone that I thought I would have a better relationship with. Um, that they would be able to talk to me in a way like, okay, let's table this for now and we'll talk later. Instead of trying to um, tell it while you have an audience and stuff like that. If you have something to say about me, that's fine. I can take constructive criticism and I will listen. Now, that doesn't mean I'm always agree with the person, but I will listen to a person at least. At least I will listen to you. And if I sit there and I listen to you and I discover that what you're saying is absolutely correct, then not only am I going to tell you that that's absolutely correct what you're saying, I am also going to see where I can make some tweak the way that I deal with you. Because one thing about me, although I do have good communication, for some reason, I mean, my mouth can be a certain way, but it's not out of maliciousness. It's not out of spite. It's just out of, unfortunately, it's out of what I kind of got from my mom. Because my mom was not the type of person to sit up and play games with anybody. Then you got my dad over here. My dad, he never played games with anybody. What I'm meaning to say when I say that is that they were the type of people who were just direct, but they was never mean people. Now, my mom, I just lost her last year, so I could feel her creeping within me and like just dwelling in me. I can really see her just dwelling in me. But at the end of the day, um, I don't want to have poor communication because the that having poor communication held me back a lot in life. Um, it just really did. I didn't know how to talk to nobody. Mainly for the sake if someone was talking to me like in a way that was disrespectful. Well, what I felt was disrespectful, or if they were talking to me in a way that was rude, disrespectful, malicious, these different things like that. It I found great joy in making people feel the way that they made me feel. So if someone made me feel bad, then it was like, oh, okay, let's everybody feel bad. Because, like, my mouth was like, it was kind of like beyond being rude. It was just that it was like, it would hurt people. And I knew that it would hurt people when I was saying it. And then what does that mean? That I'm left to go back to God and express to God that I need to ask forgiveness because I hurt his children. God is very clear when he tells us he is. He is very clear when he tells us that all sins that we commit are against him. So that means anything that you do, all of your transgressions, sins, that really hurts God. And sometimes I wonder, like, I bet that hurts God the most to feel his people mistreat his people. Does that make sense? So when you really think about it, you're hurting God. It's bad enough that you're hurting his children. Excuse me. It's bad enough that you're hurting his children. And that's scary, to think whenever I do something to somebody, I'm hurting a child of God. No matter what we think of the person and all these different things, at the end of the day, God can do things to us and punish us in ways that no man can. That's why the Bible just, is very clear when it says, even vengeance is mine, thus says the Lord. Because vengeance is the Lord's. And I would rather a person dealt with me and took vengeance on me than for God to. Because I'm a little bit, sensitive when it comes to God and the fear of God that I have within me and the respect that I want to offer him, which is my very best, especially at this grandeur in my life. I'll be turning 50 years old next Thursday, and I have no time to sit up there wondering if I'm going to make it into heaven. Now, I, in my heart, feel like I have a home, but you have to maintain the way that you're treating people. You have to maintain that, and you have to maintain the things that you're doing in order to get to heaven. You can't just be nice today and nasty tomorrow. You know what I mean? You can't, because it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work that way. So when I sit up there and I say those type of things about learning to communicate with people, I'm not just talking about in your home. I'm not just talking about in your love life. I'm not just talking about anything in particular in any certain part of your life and of your world. What I'm talking about is that you cannot treat people like dogs. And I don't even feel like I treated people like dogs. I just felt like I was reckless. My tongue was just reckless, and it was just for no reason. What the world? But anyway, going back, because something weird happened right then. But yeah, I had a reckless mouth, a foul mouth, a nasty mouth. Whatever was on my mind, especially after a person made me like upset or mad or whatever, whatever came to my mind was coming out of my mouth. And people say think before you speak so that you'll have an opportunity to think about what you finna say versus think before you speak just so that you can still say it. I mean, everything that comes to your mind don't need to come right out of your mouth. And so I do feel like that there are things that need to be addressed. Um, sometime with different people. I definitely feel like sometimes you do need to address some stuff. But I feel like also everything is not worth addressing, and everything is shouldn't be an argument. Everything should not be an argument. I don't think it should be. You shouldn't think it should be. It comes a time and an age where communication is something that you will realize that will either get you everywhere in your life or it'll either get you nowhere. With your man, with your woman, with your mama, with your daddy, with your children. Because children, yeah, you had them. Okay, cool. But they still deserve to have proper communication. But if for 1 minute, if you feel like you're a person like me or what used to be me, and you feel like you will say the first thing that will come to your mouth, especially if someone makes you angry and upset and mad, then you need to table it. Even if it's just tabling it, like I'm not gonna discuss this within your mind until you have the words. Because if you don't have the words, you're subject to say anything to a person. And then where are you? Having to bow down and open your mouth and confess to God what He already knows that you mistreated one of His children. Because that's what it can lead to. Real poor communication can lead to mistreatment of others. At least that's the way I see it. Because I saw it that I was nasty. And I was never a nice, nasty type of a person where I'm just like, 1 minute and then I'm in. It's like I provoked. But still, why should somebody be able to provoke you? Why should somebody be able to provoke you? To, you know, I thought I even heard my pastor say at Bible study, if you could put down your religion, then you ain't had no good religion. Because people, they make that threat. I be done put down my religion. Or I wasn't always a Christian. And that's cute. And that's adorable to you. Because it's not. But just because everybody doesn't have good communication when they're talking to you does not mean that you don't need to have good communication when you're talking to them. Because, see, you're responsible for you. That's your actions. So if you decide to lose your mind on somebody, just even based on something that they did to you, that's your actions. They are not responsible for the fact that they provoked you or anything. They are not. That's you. You made the final decision to go for it, and you gave them back what they was given to you. But at the end of the day, I'm never gonna lie. I didn't get along with my husband for the first 3 years of our marriage. We didn't get along. We didn't. Me and my husband didn't get along. Period. We were not friends. Only thing that we were in the business of. I'm gonna say this like I said, and how you take it. I hope you don't get offended. But we were in the business of hooking up. But we lived together in the same house. You know what I mean? But it was like it was not. We didn't get along. I mean, we just hooked up, had 3 kids together during the time that we just did not get along and everything like that. And a lot of it I thought was on him. I thought a lot was on my husband. Like, yes, because he ain't did the right thing, talk to me right or whatever. Because you can always find what the next person has done to you. You can always figure that out. That's real easy. But when you take the time to figure out what did you do? What role did you play? Did you play any role in there? And while I'm saying, having better communication allows you to have a better life, and it's true, at the end of the day, it still is something that you have to work on. It doesn't mean that, like, nobody's saying about nobody being perfect or anything, on that level. I'm not. And I'm never going to say somebody should even attempt to put themselves in the category of I'm perfect. No, I'm sorry. But you're supposed to try. You're supposed to try each day of your life to be better and better and better and better and better to where you're striving for perfection and you're trying for perfection is what you need to be doing that. I need to be, we all, faith, hope, love, of these, the greatest commandment we know as love. And when you're mistreating people, even no matter what they do to you, no matter what they do to you, you think that's hard? And that is not to say that I never lose my temper or anything, because I do. I'm guilty. We guilty, whatever. But at the end of the day, what I am saying is that although we're guilty of it, it's not cute. It's not adorable to sit up there and get into it with people. I don't care what they say. Let them say what they want to say. That's them. They got to go now. They got to do what you would have had to do if you wanted to get real ignorant with them. So I'm not saying that there never come a time when you lose your temper. But what I'm saying is if you can't communicate right there because you know something is going on within you and you may just lose your mind, lose your wit, lose your patience, then shut up. Sometimes there's so many days, and I bet my husband would agree. There's so many days that we literally, could have arguments that would cause us to be sitting up getting a divorce if we did not learn how to communicate properly. Like literally. Like even I'm talking about even now. Because I'm not the person who's gonna sit there and act like I live perfectly perfect. I'd be wanting to be mad. So I take my time when I talk to my husband. And when I can't talk anymore, and when I know that I I'm finna like, be obnoxious or anything like that, I leave that conversation alone. I say, baby, what's for dinner? I know that seems like, oh well, you're not really fixing anything. But then later I revisit it. Later on. Everything that is on your mind cannot come out of your mouth. That's the first key to having proper communication. Because more likely than not, you're going to end up regretting what just popped out of your mouth and rolled out of your mouth if you said it when you was mad. I can't talk while I'm going to put this eyeliner on. There's a hair out of place on the brush. I prefer a brush instead of having what is that? the the fiber one or whatever. As far as the liquid eyeliner, the felt tip, I don't like felt tip. I like a brush. Sorry, oops, can't talk and do eyeliner. I can't, not that way. I can't tell. But what I wanted to say though, for real, guys, and there shouldn't be a reason why I can't say this. It's embarrassing. It is embarrassing. But I used to live to sit up there and raise hell with people. Like I would literally be waiting. Like, please do something to make me mad. And that's a sick feeling. That's a sick thought. But you know why I did that? Because I wanted to win. I wanted to win. And there's ways to win without sitting up there like going all in. You could win without going all in. And for anybody who like, if you personally know me, you know I ain't out to hurt nobody. And if I falter or I hurt somebody's feelings, like really and truly, I try to take it back. I do. I try to not allow that to go on, where I hurt somebody's feelings, because the way that I am is like, if I hurt your feelings, it's no sleep. And that's what I used to want it to be. For my husband, when I didn't get along with my husband, I used to feel like, well, the problem with most black women, I'm black, so I can say this all day long and all I want. I feel, right? The problem with most black women is that we ain't fit. We're not like we want. If we don't know how to express, and I'm sorry, sisters, let me not offend all of y'all. So some black women, we don't know how to express our sadness, so we just bust move into anger. We go right for anger. We go for getting angry. I'm finna go in on you. I'm finna go out for you. We go to anger. Because, if we was to sit up there and say, and this could be white women too, but if we was to sit up there and say, hey, what you did really made me sad, what are we conveying? In our minds, we're conveying weakness. Because if that made me sad, then I'm weak. So that's why I feel like it is important to be able to express yourself in order to get to a point of better communication. Like I said, when you have better communication, you ain't got to be sitting about worrying about the punishments and the spankings you're going to get. Because, yeah, God gives out spankings. We get in trouble sometime. And that's okay. And that's okay that we do. But at the end of the day, the only time that you're really going to develop a sense of peace is when you stop being mean and wanting to get back at whoever you want to get back at with your tongue. The problem with words is that they just can't be taken back. I mean, even worse than if my mom gave me a whipping. If my mom gave me a whipping right here today, she could come if she would, she could come and she could give me a hug and she could make it feel all better. But, and yeah, I do say but, because it's true. At the end of the day, because that makes me feel that physical. The whipping was physical, the hug is physical, right? But the words, what you gonna do? How's that going back? It ain't. So that's why Your tongue is dangerous and will cut somebody to their core like a double edged sword. It will cut somebody. You can hurt somebody with your words. Somebody probably has hurt you with your words if you're able to sit there and hurt the next person. It's dangerous. You got to be careful with what you say. You got to be okay with being a little bit vulnerable. Hey, that ain't feel good. That hurt me. That hurt my feelings. Versus and start, cussing people out and stuff like that. That may not be effective. That may not be effective because now what? Now what? You got two people who's on the defense. Because it takes two to argue. It takes two people to sit up there and get into an argument with the next person. And stop being to where you always got to have closure. Well, we need to discuss this topic. If somebody is telling you, can we just agree to disagree? Sometimes that's okay too. And the reason why I say that is because, like, you're trying to, make them talk, make them talk. So then finally, when they do end up wanting to talk to you, then that's a big blowout. Like I say, there's arguments that me and my own husband could have had to make us not even be together right now. I'm talking about in the past couple of months, where it was just more like, okay, let's communicate this and this and this. And then it's like we get a clear understanding for one another and things of that nature because it's important to have those understandings. But I do feel like anybody who is supposed to be like your friend or friendly with them, maybe. I mean, I'd like to think like this lady got smart the other day, and I'm just shocked. I don't know for what. Oh, because there's an audience. Sometimes I do feel like that there are people like that. At that point, we're not going to be communication because that's going to erupt. You can see that's going to erupt. Ain't no need to communicate. Now, because, I thought me and this particular person, this is a real life too, because I thought this particular person in life, we were good. Maybe we weren't on that level of good. I don't even know what happened, but I do know how to communicate. Because one thing about me, just because I'm no longer a person who will, just snap on everything. I mean, yeah, there's every now and then, because I'm not going to pretend with you guys like, oh, never, I don't, no, I'm not going to say that. But what I will say is the truth. Just because I am not that person, don't try to force that out of a person just to see if you can make them snap so you could tell them, oh, I thought you was a Christian. Or oh, I thought you don't have arguments anymore. But I really don't be having arguments because I'll leave you alone. I'll leave you alone, right on alone, right in the dust. Is where I'll leave you. But when I did feel proud of myself was because somebody actually had called me and they had told me that this particular person was in the wrong. And not that I'm looking for somebody to be in the wrong or whatever, like, but the person was in the wrong because I didn't know what are you talking about and who are you talking to. And my attitude changed and got shitty a little bit. And then I realized, we not gonna be acting shitty together. You can act shitty, but you do it by yourself. Have at it, boo boo. This stuff I love. Gotta get some on the neck. Neck a little pale. Chair. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. This is a MAC mineralized skin finish, and I like it. I always have liked it. So anyway, we're gonna try on clothes today, and we're gonna pick. I'm gonna have you guys pick my birthday outfit. So those are ways that you can go about not having um, arguments with people, especially when that people sometimes people don't be worth it. You know what I mean? They just stay not worth it, and you need to leave them right where they stand. Now, this particular person who got smart the other day, I mean, I would like to see, like, can we communicate effectively? Because if not, then we'll just put you in that pile of, like, I don't mess with you. Because there's a pile. There's piles for each type of people that you have in your life. There is piles and there is compartments. Like, here, you. I only deal with you high and by. You. I deal with you in very small doses. You. I don't know. You're a little sketchy, but I love you from a distance. You. You go in the pile of I do not no words mess with you. We not friends. And we're not gonna pretend to be. There's nothing to communicate of. So if a person is really worth communicating with, or a lover, or a relative, or whatever, a friend, communicate with them as effective. Where's that going? Communicate with them as effective as you know how to communicate with them. And then outside of that, girl, go ahead and find your life. Get your life and move on. Cause I sure had to get my little life and move on and realize who's the most important in this equation. It's going to be me because I have to take care of me. I have to take care of my health. I have high blood pressure. What I look like sitting up there arguing back and forth with anybody, especially anybody who ain't got the common courtesy and the common sense it take to have a regular discussion. They just want to rah rah. So at the end of the day, if we got to be rah rah and all that kind of stuff, then that's fine, and we can leave it alone. If other than that, if the person is worth it, try communicating with them. When you can't communicate with them, shut up, stop. You know what I mean? Just not in a mean way, but like you don't need to force it. We need to discuss the final reasons why. Well, the final reasons why is because they probably didn't like you. Okay? And that ain't your fault. That is not your fault. Person don't mess with you, then you go on about your business. Okay. But other than that, if they liked you, then they will respect what you have to say. If you try to communicate with somebody and they have no respect for what you're trying to tell them, hurt you, bothered you, or offended, they didn't like you. And they don't care about your feelings. So you really don't need to be communicating with them. Period. But anyway, I'm gonna go set up this haul so that we can get ready to see what we got in my birthday collection or whatever it's called. Um, cause I got to dress for my birthday. I'll be 50 years old, and although I'm proud to be 50, I ain't going for the look or nothing. You know what I mean? Although it don't crack, so don't trip. But anyway, God bless.